What's up, everybody? This is Robbie. You're watching Geek Level Asian, and today is a special day. I was reached out to very randomly with a nugget of just awesomeness. Was not expecting this, and I happen to be on here with someone that a lot of you, if you're a Power Rangers fan, you're gonna recognize his face right away. So I want to just introduce Cosme Flores.
What's up, guys?
And you'll recognize him from his role on Power Rangers Beast Morphers as Ben, the comedic duo. But we're here to talk about his new show that's coming out. It's this Friday, right? The 28th?
May 28th, that's correct.
His new show called Panic. And I had the privilege of checking it out. It is awesome. And that's actually what I'd love to go into first, man. First of all, A, how are you? B, tell us about Panic.
Yeah, well, first off, I'm good, just settling in. I was just talking about to you that I'm moving right now, so I'm in between places, but finally, catching my breath a little bit, settling in. And yeah, man, Panic's going to be great. I'm pretty excited for that. It's my first real, at least for me, more of a serious side, because y'all know Power Rangers is a more comedic side. It's a bit more campy, so it's a bit bigger. So with Panic, I'm excited because I like to bring that down. You're going to get to see, a bit more of me. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. I'm afraid, I'm also afraid of, saying too much because, I'm also like unfiltered sometimes. So I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. So all I can say is, it's going to be great. It's a thriller. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of heartfeltness. There's a lot of inspiration from the characters. The characters are already complex. Yeah, overall, it's going to be a great show. I'm really excited for it.
And that's a great point. Like I want to keep my questions as vague or as general as we can go, because I definitely want people to experience the show for the first time, while watching it. But what drew you? This is a very, it's a far leap from Power Rangers. It's a far leap from that type of role. What drew you to Panic and this role and your character Drew?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me personally, I just know that I want to try any and all roles that I can, that I'm able to do. I don't want to limit myself to just comedies or specifically kid shows. I want to be, if I'm given the opportunity to play a character and I think that character intrigues me, by all means, I want to do it. And so with Panic, Drew, it's so funny when I got the bio for Drew, it was like, are they asking for Drew or for me? It was that kind of thing because he was this, he's supposed to be this outcast, kind of like he was a theater kid in high school, very introverted. And, I would consider myself more extroverted more than anything. So that was probably the only difference. But yeah, Drew is just he's a simple guy, knows what he likes, knows what he doesn't like. And I guess I relate to that a lot. I feel like anybody would. So, yeah.
And in this town where Drew lives, without, I guess, going too far into it, because we don't want to, spoiler alert, tell us about the show, like what to expect, especially for, there's a lot of people who are going to be following you from Beast Morphers, and following, the things that you do. Like, tell them, what is it about and what to expect and what, why they should be excited about it.
Yeah. So basically, it's a thriller. So it's going to be, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of high stakes, you know what I mean? And the challenges that take place, without saying too much, are going to be, they're intense, but they're also, because it challenges you mentally and physically. That's the whole point of the games, right? You want to win these games. You want to escape the town. You want to go make something of yourself, which I feel like a lot of us can relate to, especially if you come from a small town. Like I come from a small town. One of the first things I wanted to do was leave, just because, especially I wanted to be an actor. You know what I mean? I wanted to get out. But now I'm finding that I want to go back more often than not because I tend to miss home. But
no place like home.
So exactly, no place like home. And so with this show, I feel like a lot of teens are going to be able to relate to that. The sense of wanting more, but coming from a small town, especially if you are from a small town, the challenges are high stakes. They challenge you mentally and physically. And, overall, and also the characters, they're fun characters. I think they're relatable characters. Each character brings their own sense of uniqueness to them. And that's what I like about the show. And also behind the scenes, the cast, the chemistry that we had was also just really great. So I always feel that's a big tell whether or not a show will do good is, if the chemistry is naturally great behind the scenes, then it'll resonate on camera. And so working with the people that I worked with, they were all awesome people. and they were all just really we were just shooting the shit behind the scenes. You know, we just kicked it, you know, whenever we weren't on set. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for people to see it. You know, I'm excited for people also who follow me on Beast Morphers to see me in a different light, you know, because I feel it was a lot of, you know, slapstick, you know, oh no, you know, what's that, you know? And so I'll be downplayed a lot. So it's going to be nice for them to see that different side of me for sure.
That's an awesome point too. Like, you know, I'm definitely one of those people. Like I respect acting so much. You know, I would love to be an actor one day, but I respect it so much, like in the craft of everything that you do. And one of the things that I was thinking about, since the characters are so different, how was approaching this more challenging or less challenging? You know, what was the super difference, or how did you go about approaching this role compared to a much more, you know, physical comedy animated role like Power Rangers?
So for this, you know, I don't want to say it was more challenging because, like I said, it was real grounded, you know. So a lot of the times with these kinds of roles, I don't have to do too much because it's really just me up there, right? It's me with the lines and just trying to justify the character that I'm playing. Whereas Power Rangers, you know, there's a lot of like gags that go into it. So I feel like, if anything, I think Power Rangers was a bit more challenging in that sense, because my tendency, especially because, you know, I went to school for this, you know, I'm trained for this. So a lot of the things we did was like classical stuff. And so it was, my tendency was wanting to downplay a lot of the stuff they gave me. And so it was very much them telling me, be bigger, at least on Power Rangers. And so it was a lot more theatrical in that sense. So me and Christina Ho, who played Betty, it was a lot of us working behind the scenes, talking about how are we gonna play this, right? You know, so normally when I act, especially on something more serious, I don't like to create the scene unless I'm there with the other actor that I'm working with, because no scene should be the same, right? You know, it's going to be different every time, feeding off of what they give me and whatever I give them. It's going to be different every time. Whereas this, you know, the gags were very technically timed. It was, you know, jump now, you know, we're going to lift you up here. You're covered in slime now, you know, you've been shot across into a lake now. And so it was that kind of thing where 1, 2, 3, you know, comedy, right? And so that was, I would say, more technically involved for Power Rangers, whereas this was just, you know, I just showed up, you know, they told me where to stand, they told me where to go, where I needed to end up, and I said my lines, and it was just me, and that was nice. That freedom just to be was nice. And not to say that nothing about Power Rangers, but Power Rangers was very much more. So this is the gag, this is what we're doing, and I'm like, okay, great. So me and Christina, we would work it, and with, you know, if we had stunts, you know, we would have our stunt team with us. Sometimes Chep would be there with us too, to also give us some, you know, guides, and same thing with the director. So yeah, so I would say it's different in that sense, you know, more grounded for Panic, and this one was more rehearsed and more like, what can we do? How do we play up the comedy in this? So
absolutely. You great cast on this show, you know, like you know, just going through the show, I loved a lot of the development of the characters. Ray was actually one of my favorite characters. I mean, sure. Yeah, I'm sure you can imagine. And everyone watching this video, when you watch the show, you'll start to understand why. I loved, you know, what they did with his character. I'm very much an underdog type of. I root for that person. But yeah, you had a great cast. You know, like one of the questions I wanted to ask: who is most like their character, and who is least like their character in Panic?
Okay. I'm trying to think, because honestly,
and you can include yourself.
Oh no, 100%. The casting was so good. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them, you know, they brought themselves to it for the most part. I'm trying to think, because like really, I can see them doing that. I don't know, man. It's such a because a lot of them brought their own uniqueness. Like, I mean, Ray, you know, is obviously he plays that, you know, that character who's a little more brutish and more like tough around the edges. And not to say that he is, outside of that, he's obviously just he's a nice guy, you know, and he's great to talk to. I love talking to him. Whenever we worked together, it was always great. Chatting behind the scenes was always great. He always gave me some great advice. So I don't know. I can't really. Maybe Jordan. I don't know. Because I also don't want to spoil anything, you know. I don't want to say yeah. And so I don't want to like say, oh, they're not like that for that reason, and they're not like this for this reason. So I don't know. I guess I don't want to say. Yet.
Okay, all right. No, I feel you. No, I get it. I get it. And that, you know, when it comes to the challenges, we won't specifically talk about them, but like, I was definitely let's just say rambunctious kid, right? Like in high school, I caused some trouble. Like I could see myself playing Panic. I don't think I would have won Panic, but I could see myself 100%. Playing. Are you someone who would play Panic? Like, is that part of your like history? Like, are you, what were you like back then?
Okay, so I don't want to say necessarily I was like a goody two shoes or even like a bad kid. I think I fell in between, right? Me and my friend group, whatever hyped each other up. We hype each other up and whatever, like in the moments. I feel like, I think I'd play, but I also think the moment something got real, I'll be like, yeah, I'm out. I'd be like, yo, I'm not doing that. And so I think I would play, but I don't think I'd win. I'm the same way. I think I'm not as wild as maybe some of my other friends, if we were all to play. I think I'd be like, yeah, this is probably where I draw the line. But I think definitely I'd go and I'd watch and support. Yeah. I'd be a great support guy.
Nice. You're the hype man.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll tell you, man, the first one you did, and I'll just call it the tightrope. We don't have to get specific. Yeah. I would never do that one. That's the one, like, out of all of them, I mean, there's probably a lot of the other ones that I wouldn't do. That one I would definitely not do. I am not good with heights.
Yeah.
Definitely not for me. Like what? And it was, and I know I normally would call it movie magic, but television show magic, if you will. Mm-hmm. I was like, I wonder like how much of this is practical and how much is CGI. Was a lot of that shot like practical or what?
I would say it's a good mix.
Really?
What is it? Would it be the VFX team or the visual effects team or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Whoever worked on, making it look like that, I'm going to put it like that, did really such a good job. You know what I mean? Because also just the builders, the designers, the graphic designers, they all did such a good job. And when I got to see that bit, it was like, wow, because I remember shooting that day and I remember doing it and being like, whoa, this is going to be, I'm excited to see what this looks like on screen. And, sure enough, I wasn't disappointed. And so I'd say, yeah, it's a good, a good mix. It was like, we obviously have the location that we went to where we got that from. And then what they did behind the scenes, with CGI and, blue screen. And so, yeah, I think it's a good mix. I wish I could answer that better, personally, but
no, it's a great answer, and I love that. I think the dynamic between, the roles that we've spoken the most about today, which is Power Rangers and Panic, I know you've done theater work. I know that, you're doing stuff all across the board. You've been in things that is superhero-ish with Power Rangers. You've done something that's now thriller and could happen in real life. One of the questions I had for you is, moving forward, what are the roles that like you would be stoked about? If there's a universe that you would want to be a part of, or if there's a show that you would want to be on, or the type of character that you would love to play. I'd love to learn more about that.
Yeah, for sure. So for sure, if I can choose a role, I would love anything that would have great locations. Just like to be able to like fly somewhere like to like Iceland or anywhere. Iceland. And something like that, something like big mountains, like, because I shot Power Rangers in New Zealand. So we got to see a lot of these great locations that we obviously didn't shoot at, but just more for like visiting. But they shoot, like, I've heard Lord of the Rings is apparently going to be shooting in New Zealand. So I would, something like that kind of, and also that lore, like Lord of the Rings lore, Game of Thrones lore. I would love to get involved in that. I think that would be so amazing. And if not that, something space related, anything sci-fi related. Yeah, I would 100% love to do something like that. And then also, myself, me and some friends, we're doing our own thing, and we want to also in the future, one of the goals is to produce one of our own things, and so
sick.
that kind of idea. So that's another thing I would like to do is, create something with really close friends of mine and getting to see what that looks like with the finished product and getting to be in that with them and create that with them and create whatever it is we create at that time. So that's also something I'd like to do. Even something musical related. If I could, I would love to do that as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's awesome. Content creation, is definitely an awesome and fun thing to do. Would directing be something that you would be interested in doing?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, here's the thing. I will say this though. I'm nowhere near. I would like to be more experienced first. I would like to shadow a director, even, kind of just see what they would do and how they would do it. Because you know, a lot of the things I've done has been acting. I've directed one project in college, and that's when I kind of got the bug for it. When I had, because I was very much adamant, like, I'm going to be an actor. That's all I'm going to do. Don't ask me to do anything else. And as far, I'm very confident in the acting part. You ask me to do anything else, you know, it's not going to work out as well. Now I got to do that directing project. That gave me a little taste for it. And I was like, man, I would like to direct something, start off small, work my way up. And now I'm working on the creative side where I would like to write something and maybe even produce something in the future. So now I want to, you know, visit all aspects of, you know, TV and television and even theater at some point, you know.
Nice. And when you do this, like, I'm a very much a thought process guy. Like, I'm a storyboard guy. Like, when you do this, do you think of, like, you know, people that, you know, like, oh, Christina would work in this role. I'd love to bring her back. Like, is that how it kind of works when you paint that picture?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. More so anything, it's these thoughts just come to me randomly. I'll be literally doing nothing. I'll be on my bed watching TV, or I'll be on my phone, and some thought will come to me, and I'll be like, huh, that'd be funny. Or huh, that, I don't think I've seen this before. I would like to see that. And then I'll just write down I don't want to get too detailed about it. I write down like a very vague, bare bones sentence of what that idea is. And then when I revisit it, hopefully something will spark again. And then I'll create like a little storyboard, maybe even a vision board. And then I will, you know, kind of spin words off of that. Now, what's the beginning, right? What's the middle? Is there an ending? If there is one.
Yeah.
And do I want it to be an episodic thing? Do I want it to be a limited series? Do I want this to be a movie? Do I want this to be on theater? Can it be all of it? You know, so it's that kind of thing where I'm also just not, I'm organized, but I'm also not organized. So it's that kind of thing where I'm so frantic with this, where I'd be like, this idea. And then it's like, nah, that doesn't work. Throw it away. Like, wait, maybe it might. And so, dude, and even like, I'm a heavy anime watcher. So I see a lot of these animes that I like. Nice. I would love to do that too. I would love to obviously I'm not a good artist by any means. So I would love to like pitch it to an anime production. Please take my idea. Yeah, you guys can have fun with it. But this is the idea I have, because, oh man, there's so many animes that I've seen that I'm like, you can just do so much. You're not limited by anything. You're right. Because you don't need to go to a location. They'll just draw it. And, you know, and so I would also like
and you've done voice acting, ADR, Vacutron.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. No, that's all. I love that you mentioned that. Like, now I have to ask, like, what your favorite anime is, or what you're currently watching. I have to ask.
So I'm currently watching, obviously, My Hero. I mean, I know it's huge, and I know everyone watches it, but it's great. So I don't care what anybody says.
It's the new DBZ. It's the new DBZ.
You know, like, it's great, guys. I enjoy it thoroughly, especially this last episode was great. No spoilers, obviously. But I'm watching this new show called 86. That's been really good. The story is very good, in my opinion. But my favorite, I know everybody's gonna probably rip me apart, but Naruto. It's because it's what started. It's what started it for me, and I will never deny that. Like, my friend started watching Naruto, and I remember him seeing it, and I'm like, "What are you watching, dude? Like, anime, really?" And he's like, "Bro, have you seen it?" I'm like, "No, I don't really watch anime. It's not my thing." Like, watch it. I watched 2 episodes with him. Finished that first season that night. Finished all of it in 2 weeks. I was just hooked. I've never cried so much watching a TV show. I was a mess whenever it got to serious stuff. I was just ruined, and I wish I could see it all for the first time again. And then from there, I saw Hunter x Hunter, and then I saw Bleach, and then I saw all these other ones. So right now I'm trying to watch One Piece. It's so like, there's so many episodes, but I'm making my way through. I'm like 150 right now. So I'm trying. My friend just finished it, and I envy him because he finished it like in 2 months. And I was like, I hate you. And so, yeah, he just muscled through it. And right now I'm trying to do that too, but it's hard. So yeah, I'm watching that. I'm watching One Piece, Black Clover, 86, My Hero. We just finished Jujutsu Kaisen this past season. That was great. Love that one too. Just saw the Demon Slayer movie, you know.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's great. Yeah, man. I would say anime has taken over by primarily what I watch now. So it's really,
it's one
of the main things. Awesome. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
so, it's great.
You should I would, you know, that'd be awesome if you started, you know, if you were in some anime. that would be awesome.
Dude, I would love to voice over an anime. You don't understand. I'll do a little character and work my way up. I don't care. I'll say one line, get me in your show, please. I would love to.
Oh man, that's all. It's funny. Naruto is the one that I skipped when it was on. And I was, you know, a huge Toonami fan, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, the Tenchi stuff. And I just went through all of Naruto last year. And it rocked me. So I know
it's
I
so
know what you're saying, man. It totally like Shippuden. There are scenes in Shippuden that I think like made me rethink whether I'm okay or not.
100%. Yeah, 100%. One of my favorite. I mean, I could say it now. Naruto's been out for a minute. If you haven't,
a long time. There's no spoilers.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes in Naruto is when Sasuke just fought with what's his name, Danzo, and they're at the bridge. I guy. And so him and Naruto are talking, right? And they're talking about high level shinobi, and he's saying, you know what I'm thinking. I know what you're thinking. One of us is gonna have to die, and if one of us dies, both of us dies because we're gonna be best friends to the end. And maybe in the afterlife, you won't be a Uchiha, and I won't be a Jinchuriki. And I was just like, yes. Yeah, 100%. So that's one of that. Oh man, that was one of my favorite scenes, and so that and amongst others. But yeah, Naruto is really great. Love that one.
Oh, now I'm like as soon as like I have some free time, like later in the day, I'm totally gonna look up that scene because I know exactly what scene you're talking about. I'll like go on YouTube. I won't watch the episode. I'll just go on YouTube. And, like,
100%. Yeah, 100%. The same way. I'll go rewatch old fights all the time. The one fight that I watch all the time is Endeavor's fight in this not this season but the past season. So I see that fight a lot. That one was really, really good. Same thing, tears, just like So
hey man, it's what makes us feel. It's what makes us
dude, I've never had more confidence in my life after watching anime. My willpower has shot through the roof. Like, try to bring me down after watching a good anime. Please do. I dare you.
Yeah.
What's up?
Dude, when Naruto shows up during like the pain like Leap Village thing, I remember like, I mean, even now I still get stoked, but when I was like going, because you have to imagine like you're going through it the first time you see it. I like when he first bashes that one guy like in a second and he starts talking to Tsunade, I like freaked out. It was that was like a game changing scene. I was like, okay, this show just like went up even more of a level for me.
100%. So. Dude, yeah, there's that show has so many good moments like that. Or like when Kakashi sees them and he's like, Sensei, and it's Naruto, and I was like, yes.
Oh, dude, you're killing me now. You're killing me now. Yeah,
that
dude,
was so good.
Yeah, I know, and it's got that like it's got that music go.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. The music on Naruto is so great. The Akatsuki theme, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best.
Oh yeah,
every time that comes out, it's so good.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of the soundtrack. I play a lot of it on my. I'm a guitar player. I learn a lot of the intros and stuff. Yeah. Singing in Japanese, I don't know exactly what I'm saying, and I'm only saying the words phonetically. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm there with you, dude. Tokyo Ghoul's opening. That like
yeah, dude.
That's what's great for me. So
yeah, the Japanese will be like, "What are you saying?" But we know what we're saying. We know.
We feel it. We understand. Yeah, we feel it.
That's all that matters, and that's the point. That's the point. One of the questions, going back to Panic, actually, one of the questions I wanted to ask. Yeah, right. After us geeking out over anime, I don't want to give anything away, but I did want to ask, like, is the show like are you signed on for multiple seasons? Like, what does that look like? Is it going to continue?
So I mean, I'm not too sure. That's more production than anything, and I'm not sure. I would like to. If there is more, I would like to come back. But yeah, like I said, that's more production and how we handle things. So I'm not entirely sure on that. But I hope so. I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah. Come back, hang it. I feel like. And I've never had the experience, but I almost feel like acting is very much probably like summer camp. Like, you go away to this place, you make a bunch of friends, you have a great time while you're there, and then you leave and like you kind of stay in touch.
Yeah, right? Exactly. 100%. I mean, I will say, thankfully, now that I have more experience as an actor and I've done more projects, I'm starting to understand that's kind of how it is sometimes, where you work and you make these great friends and you keep in touch afterwards, but you obviously all live in different places. So it's kind of hard. Sure. Sometimes you're living your own lives, and we all get it. There's all respect there. It's more so the thing, like, we see each other, or if we, a birthday comes up, or it's that kind of thing. Like, dude, hey, it's been a minute. But with Power Rangers was different, because Power Rangers, that was my first project ever, as an actor, at least professional project as an actor. And we got flown to New Zealand for like 9 months to going on 10. And it was just, obviously we don't know anybody, at least I didn't know anybody in New Zealand. And, so it's us 8 in New Zealand for 9 months. And so we kind of had to like be close. And so we got to know all the goods and bads about each other. Right. And so we literally became a family in that span of time. So whenever we are around each other, it's like Christina, we hit each other up almost like every other week. And so we talk, we chat, we see how we're doing. And we definitely plan trips for when we, visit each other, because she's from California and I'm from Texas.
Nice.
And so she always says, whenever I go visit, right? And she's a big foodie. So we always talk about what foods we're going to eat, what we're going to cook with each other and stuff like that.
Texas barbecue, baby. Come on.
100%. Yes, sir.
Dude, Terry Black's. I'll come right now. Franklin's Barbecue.
Dude, please do. I'll meet you there. Let's go.
I love those places, man.
Yeah, dude. So we talk about that all the time. And some of the other cast as well, whenever, because I think most of them live in LA. So whenever we're out there, we like to coordinate like a dinner if we can, nice. We understand we all have busy schedules because we're all doing our own thing. But I would say that's a good analogy. Like summer camp, you go with these great friends, and then you bounce, and you hope you stay in touch.
And I hear that you're in Texas. I hear that Texas is like one of the new, I'll call it the Silicon Valley, or the new Silicon Valley of voice acting. That's where a lot of the anime voice acting is happening.
Yeah, well, I think Funimation Studios is in Dallas, if I'm not mistaken, and so I wouldn't be surprised that that's a thing, because that's what I've heard. I think one of my friends, if I'm not mistaken, worked there. I don't want to say that because then I could be wrong, but I think he did, because he brought it up. I'm pretty sure he did. But I'm not surprised if that's true, because that's where that's at. And I think there's another studio in LA, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Nice. So I do want to ask a few Power Rangers questions. We have to.
No, please do. Bring them on. That I can be more open about.
Yeah, we could.
I can be, because with Panic, it's like, what can I say?
I also want to be respectful of, what 100%. I want people to experience it for the first time. Right. You had mentioned one of the things that I always think is super interesting. Obviously I love the show, but I also the show's a show. You watch it, you take for what it is. I love to know your experience. I want to know you were talking about how it's months at a time you're living in New Zealand. Do you guys all live together? What is that like? Who was a prankster? Who's the what are people like? I'd love to know that stuff.
Right. So New Zealand, it's 9 months. They put us up for a bit until we find actual living, and that's kind of our choice whether we want to live together or not. So you guys. Okay. So it's if we all want to get a house, we could. Some people live together. So I missed the first meeting that they all had. So I decided who they were going to live with at that meeting. So when I got there in New Zealand, I was like, "Yay! Who wants a roommate?" And they were like, "Oh, we already got all our roommates." I'm like,
got it.
Yeah, no, I don't care. Dying on the inside, but but I think it worked out worked out for the best in that situation. I ended up getting my own place, which I think was needed for me, because sometimes you just want to be alone.
Sure.
But I hung out with Rory and Jazz a lot, so that was kind of they had their own little nice penthouse in downtown Auckland, and so I'd go visit them a lot, and that was kind of the spot. We'd go, we play 2K, we'd get ready for the night, whatever that entails, and and as far as I guess the chemistry was great. Like I said, we became a family. You know what I mean? It wasn't always it's sometimes sometimes you just don't. Sometimes you just don't want to be at work. That's the way I would put it. That sometimes you want to be at home because the hours were long. Especially for the Rangers. They're because it's obviously Power Rangers, so it's about them. So working that long for that, sometimes you just kind of want to chill, and I get that. So like I said, we became a family, and we learned how to laugh with each other when it was necessary, respect each other's boundaries when it was necessary, kind of leave each other alone when it was necessary. And but I think it was great. I wouldn't, honestly, I don't regret it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. When I look back on it, I wish I would have done more traveling. I'm definitely a homebody, so I like being home a lot when I don't need to be anywhere. So yeah, you get it. And
Yeah,
so
I get it, dude.
that's one thing. That's one thing I wish I did with some of the cast. You know, 'cause they a good majority of the cast traveled a lot, and so I would have loved to have done that more with
Sure.
them. But other than that, you know, it was really really great time. Also, just getting to see be in a different country and see New Zealand was awesome. You know, like Chip, our producer at the time, um, he did such a good job of making us feel at home, even though we were
That's
like
good.
far away. And so
Yeah, that's
he did
good.
such a great job at that. You know, one of our first nights, he had us come over to his house and we made sushi and we had like a little icebreaker. And so
Very nice.
it was such a good time. You know, we got to see him and his partner and his dog. And so it was just like this great time, all of us trying to like get to know each other. You know, we obviously don't know who we are, who each other is. And so making sushi like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? Awkward first day of school kind of vibes. And so,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was a really good time. And yeah, those are gonna be some great memories that I'll hold on to forever, for sure.
Every once in a while, depending on the season, they might have
Mm-hmm.
like behind the scenes, like, or it'll be
Mm-hmm.
like in, I think it was Turbo, they did like bloopers and stuff. But some seasons
Mm-hmm.
they kind of don't release all of that
Yeah.
behind the scenes stuff. And that's, you know, I think for especially the people who watch this channel and who are interested in Power Rangers, it's just interesting to hear like from the first person perspective what it was like. And like, you know, one of the questions I wanted to ask is going into a comedic role, going into like a, you know, the comedy duo role, was that something that was like intimidating, knowing that Power Rangers has been on for 2 decades at this point in time? You know, you have all of these people who have been in that role before to kind of like carry the torch.
Yes and no. I would say no, more for the comedy, because you know I've always liked comedy. I've always loved comedy. Comedy has always been the first thing I've done. That's always been kind of where I've been, you know, as far as an actor in college and high school, even just as a student in high school, you know, labeled, you know, comedy, funny guy, you know, right? So
Sure.
that wasn't really the hard part. I would say, yeah, the whole, you know, making sure I do justice to this, you know, because also, you know, comedic relief and the fandom have had, you know, their differences. And so, you know, and we know that, you know, we're not oblivious to it. We know, you know, we're not like,
no, go more into that. I want to hear you. I want to hear you say,
you know, like you know, it's like, we know we have the fans who do really love us, and we know we have the fans who would, you know, would do without us. We get it. And so we try to do our job and we try to make sure we're the best we can be, you know, because we obviously are following, you know, Bulk and Skull, you know, who are the OGs, and, you know, I grew up on them. And so getting to be that was an honor, and getting to be that was great for my generation, at least. And so I'm very happy about that. And so it was that kind of thing where it's like, how do you stay being funny without being over the top? So that was the challenge, right? You know, because, you know, they put you in these situations where it's like, okay, you're going to be swallowed by a plant. Okay. And let's make this a real situation. Cosme, if you were going to be swallowed by an alien plant, how would you react to that? And so it was, so yeah, sometimes that was a challenge, because, you know, we want to be funny, but we also don't want to be too much over the top where we take over the scene.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I think, you know, I'm very happy with what we did. I'm very happy that Christina was my partner in all this, because, you know, she was such a great person to work off of and feed off of. You know, even when we did our auditions together, that was one of the, like, I remember the audition, because obviously it was one of my first big ones. I remember seeing, she's gonna laugh at this when she sees this. I remember seeing her on the audition, and she was sitting down with literally every bag in the world you can imagine. I don't know why she had so many bags, but she did. and
like,
so,
handbag? Are we talking handbags, or
you name it? Handbag, a purse, a backpack, a shopping bag. You know, she had she had all varieties of bags. And I remember, and we talk about it this day, and we laugh about it. And she was so zoned in. You know, she was like in, right? And I'm like, okay, so she's in it. She's in it. So I'm looking around, scoping out, you know, what's going on. And then, you know, they pair us together for our chemistry read. And one of the first things we say to each other is like, all right, what, if you got any notes, let me know. What do you need me to do better? Because I want to feed off of you, and I want you to feed off of me. We're trying to get this part together. And so how do we make this as best as we can and not step on each other's toes, and, you know, basically say that's not good, as opposed to like, hey, this is how we can be better, right? And so that chemistry was just automatic. So there was no try to like muscle it in. You know, it was like once we worked together, it was like click, we get it, let's go in, let's do it.
And that's why you were picked. You know, like that's obviously, I mean, your partner, I could totally imagine the chemistry between you, because you guys are in every scene together pretty much, you know, being a big driver as to whether the actual joke works or not.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, and she, like I said, she is so funny too. So even like she had this way of just knowing how to be at the right spot at the right time when it came to like comedic timing. And so it was great to feed off of that, because it would be like, I don't even have to tell you, you read my mind. Like, this is what we're doing. And so she was so good about that. And so, yeah, I loved working with her.
Awesome. And, you know, I guess the final Power Rangers question is, if you could be any Power Ranger that exists in any of the shows, which one would you want to be?
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go with, obviously, Power Rangers in Space, because that was my favorite one. That was the first one I ever saw. So
good to know.
I remember, honestly, it was one of the first ones I ever saw, and it was also because it had my favorite theme song at the time, like 3, 2, 1, Rangers in Space. So that's when I was like, "Let me go to." I was like headbanging it. Yeah, it's my jam. Let's go.
Nice.
And I would say probably Andros. You know, he had that streak in his hair, dude. I was like, dude. Yeah, I'm about to do that in my hair. Let's go, you know? And so, yeah, either that or I messed with SPD heavy as well, too. SPD and Mystic Force. Mystic Force was another one I really liked.
All right, so you have to pick different colors this time.
Okay. Different colors. I'm not cool enough for red or blue. So I would have to say, dude, green. I want to be green.
SPD green?
Like an SPD green, or even like a Mystic Force green, you know. I'm like, or not even that, or maybe like a what's the name of it? Ninja Force, like Thunder. Is it Thunder and Lightning, or
Ninja Storm?
Ninja Storm. All right. Don't rip me apart, fandom.
That's going to be the one that
I know he didn't get it right.
You're on the show, Cosme. You're on the show.
I know they're gonna. But yeah, like even like that, like the whole element aspect of that was really cool too. I also liked what was that one? Time Force, right? Time Force.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
an amazing series.
Yeah, Time Force, also green. You know, that character with the bucket hat, like what? Like, you know what I mean? Like he had so much style and swag back in the day. I was like, yo, I'm trying to be that.
Oh, nice, man.
And he had he had the owl too. So that was, I thought that was really dope.
Very true.
So yeah, I think green. Also, green's my favorite color. So
is it? Oh, another thing. Yeah, another interesting thing to note. Okay.
Yeah.
There was no. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Well, in Go Busters, there actually is a green. There's a green ranger, but
the amount of times people were like, I wore green on any day. It was like, he's the Green Ranger. We got it. it. I was like, I wish I could give that to you. You know, not my choice.
Yeah, he's in the. I don't know if you've actually watched it, but he's in one. He's in one episode.
Yeah, I think it's like it's supposed to be like a parody, right, or something like that. It's supposed to be like a funny
thing. Yeah. They do like a parody thing, and he basically has half a scene, and then he's gone.
Yeah. So hey, it would have worked out.
Yeah. So yeah, dude. What I definitely want to do is absolutely make sure that everybody knows that Panic is coming out this Friday. Yes. I don't know if there's a specific time. Is there a specific time that the show is going to be available on Amazon Prime, or is it just as soon as they wake up?
Here, let me make sure. I don't want to say no, and then there is, and then
because I definitely want to make sure we're driving people to the show.
Yeah, for sure. Let me. I know it's for sure May 28th. No, yeah, I don't think there's. I haven't been given a specific time, so I just think May 28th. So
well, in any case, everybody, May 28th, Panic. Definitely check it out. If you're a Power Rangers fan, again, it's a step up in maturity. It's definitely a step up in obviously the thrills because it is a thriller, but it's also, you know, if you happen to be a child fan of Power Rangers, maybe Panic's not for you.
Yeah, maybe not, you know.
Yeah, if you're like you're a teenager, definitely check it out. It was definitely awesome. Definitely check out the show. And you know, I always like to, whenever I do an interview with anyone, I like to leave the closing notes for you. If there's anything that that you'd like to say, or to the fandom, or Power Rangers fans, Panic fans.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys like the shows. I hope you know, the Power Rangers fandom likes Panic as well. You know, it's different, but you know, I think it's cool. Hope you guys like it, and be cool, be kind.
Nice. Oh, and where can people find you on socials? You know, and
Instagram. I think Instagram. I only really have Instagram. I have other ones, but I don't use them. I don't even think I have the apps.
Okay.
So
I do the same.
So Instagram really. So that's kind of primarily where I'm at.
Nice. So I'll leave that in the description. I'll probably put it. It'll probably show up like somewhere around here. And dude, I do thank you again. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out, answering a bunch of questions about your experience on both shows. And maybe one day when you have another project, we'll do this again.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome, dude.